This week, the NYPD says transit crimes are on the rise, and police say a man impersonating an FBI agent attempted to free accused CEO-killer Luigi Mangione. Plus,
lots of broken bottles, vomit everywhere.
Neighborhood complaints are piling up for a Queens nightclub. Right now, Fox 5's Crime in the City. For our first story this week, we begin in the Broadway Lafayette subway station in Lower Manhattan. That's where a man is accused of stabbing another man in the back with a knife and also threatening a woman in a separate incident. This case is part of a larger, more troubling picture. The NYPD says transit crimes are spiking in the new year.
It's been a rough start to the new year when it comes to crime underground in the city.
Fox 6's Kendall Green is live at the Broadway Lafayette station where, Kendall, some of that subway crime took place.
Hey, good evening, Natasha and Steve. Today, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg announced the indictment of a man accused of two separate incidents on the rails involving a knife. He's facing several charges in connection. Now, both incidents were last month on the 28th here at the Broadway Lafayette station. The first around 4:50 that morning. That's when police say 28-year-old Daryl Castillo, right here on your screen, attempted to steal a 25-year-old woman's cell phone on a northbound F train. Police say as she tried to get it back, he threatened her by showing her his knife. And in the second incident, less than an hour later, Castillo's accused of stabbing a 51-year-old man in the back several times with a knife. The 28-year-old now faces one count each of assault, robbery, as well as grand larceny, among other charges. Now, the pair of incidents and those charges last month are part of a bigger story here. Stats from the NYPD show while most major crime is down, major crimes reported on mass transit so far spiked by 11% within the first 5 weeks of the year. Specifically, 293 within that span compared to 264 within the same time frame in 2025, while total crime has dropped by about 6% citywide. The NYPD calls the cold weather a major factor in that trend, considering people accused of committing crimes like Castillo, for example, are likely going underground to do it. Here's former NYPD Lieutenant Dr. Darren Porter.
I'm not so sure if they continue to maintain that same level of staffing in transit, but we've now seen a spike. So what we want to do is we want to focus on those areas where we have the greatest propensity of an increase in crime.
I would say I feel decently safe on the subway. I mean, someone who's been here my whole life, I feel like I've been kind of just used to it from a younger age, but I get the concerns with what's going on the subway nowadays, so I understand both sides of it.
Now, that's one commuter's honest perception, as those same NYPD stats citywide show murder down 44%, burglary down 25%, and robberies down 8.3% compared to last year. Now, Dr. Porter shares the key to getting those numbers down with mass transit is what he called precision-based policing, and that's deploying manpower where it's needed most. And those stats certainly show that it's needed on the rail.
We now head to the Laurelton section of Queens, where a laundromat worker was killed in a shooting.
And unfortunately, there has been a heartbreaking development in the story we first reported to you last night. Police are saying the laundromat worker who was shot in Queens has died. He's been identified as 31-year-old Dominic Lowry. Police say he was shot in the back of the head after getting into an argument with another person. This happened yesterday morning outside the Super Laundry on North Conduit Avenue in Laurelton. There's a citizen app video from the scene as police were arriving. So far, there have been no arrests.
Down on Staten Island, police are warning the public about a rash of home burglaries and car break-ins that have hit multiple neighborhoods.
First, a burglary blitz on Staten Island. The recent break-ins that have many people on edge tonight. Good evening. Welcome back to the 5 o'clock news. I'm Steve Lacey.
And I'm Teresa Priolo. Police say multiple neighborhoods on Staten Island have seen an influx in both home and car break-ins.
Okay, Fox 5's Haley Fixler is live in Graniteville with the message they're sending to people who live there. Haley.
Well, Steve, Teresa, it's not just car thefts. Officials say the suspects are also breaking into or attempting to break into people's homes. Take a listen.
The perpetrators have attempted to break into homes, sometimes using crowbars, in order to steal the key fobs to high-end luxury vehicles and then steal the vehicles.
Now, this is some surveillance video and some photos collected from these crimes. We're told sometimes the suspects were successful and sometimes they were not. Now, officials say most of these crimes have been concentrated in certain neighborhoods like Dongan Hills and Toad Hill. They tell us they've worked hard since 2022 to cut down the number of these crimes by more than half, and now they're worried about this recent spike. They're urging people to take precautions, not just locking car doors, hiding keys and valuables, but also having exterior lights on homes and checking surveillance cameras for any suspicious activity. Officials say they will not stop until they catch the people responsible.
We take, as I said, the sanctity of their home seriously, and anytime anyone commits these crimes, we'll do everything we can to bring the perpetrators to justice and hold them accountable as the best we can under the law. And we will do that on Staten Island, because here, if you steal a car or you break into a home, you will be charged to the full extent of the law.
Now, we're told they're amping up patrols in these neighborhoods with both marked and unmarked vehicles. They also said last time that these crimes were a problem. They worked with Port Authority and used plate readers to catch the suspects. So they said that they may need to use those devices again. Of course, this is something that we will continue to follow.
Over in Brooklyn, a man is accused of posing as an FBI agent at the Metropolitan Detention Center in an attempt to free Luigi Mangione.
The man charged with impersonating an FBI agent in an attempt to free accused killer Luigi Mangione entered a not guilty plea at his arraignment today. According to the complaint, 36-year-old Mark Anderson showed up at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn last month and said he had a court order to release Mangione. Officials said they ended up finding a barbecue fork and pizza cutter in his bag after he allegedly claimed to have weapons. Anderson's now being held at that same jail. He's due back in court on Friday.
Over in Astoria, neighbors are fed up with a nightclub causing noise, street fights, property damage, and drunk driving incidents.
Complaints are piling up over a club in Queens. Those who live in Astoria claim the noise is driving them to the brink. Welcome back to the 10 o'clock news. I'm Steve Lacey.
And I'm Natasha Verma. Fed up neighbors say that this late night spot is leading to street fights, even property damage.
Okay, Fox 5's Kendall Green in Astoria, where people say enough's enough.
Code Nightclub has made a name for itself as Queens' #1 nightclub, drawing massive crowds looking for a good time in Astoria. Their Instagram account shows it's obvious the night spot gets packed out, but
they keep us up all the time.
Neighbors like Sam Muster say the owners struggle with crowd control, telling Fox 5 it's become a problem night in and night out.
We're woken up pretty much every weekend night, Thursday through Sunday.
It's worse around 4 in the morning when the club is closing and people are going home.
Lots of broken bottles, vomit everywhere. A few weeks ago, a group of girls buzzed at 4 a.m. and, broke into the common area, the stairwell.
Darren Marino, you just heard from, and Sam, along with her roommate Amelia Bell, have all been living on Steinway Street before the club opened its doors after the pandemic. They say the club's drawing more costs far beyond the simple cover charge.
I've had 2 cars that have been hit by drunk drivers who have then driven away, so I've come outside to go to work the next day. They completely destroyed one car. Another car had a hole in the back fender.
Sam sent us pictures of her cars, badly damaged over the weekend, overnight. She says witnesses confirm at least one was damaged by someone leaving the nightclub. And this video of the crowd, also overnight, taken from the window of her apartment, capturing mayhem. She says the club's closing crowd is a constant nuisance, keeping her and her neighbors up when they clear out around 4 a.m.
Honking, whole streets blocked up, sirens. It's, a lot of shouting and honking and fights.
NYPD data supports those complaints, sharing they've issued dozens of summonses to the club's owners within the past year for quality of life conditions. On New Year's Day, a business inspection led to 2 criminal court summonses related to a 911 call for underage drinking, while officers from the same precinct issued 8 criminal court summonses and 4 oath summonses at the club within the last year. On top of that, 170 summonses for parking violations within the same block. Neighbors at this point, after no interaction with the club's management, say they're fed up.
God, I just want them gone. They can't even be nice anymore. They're too far past that.
Now, we reached out to the nightclub's management team for explanation, and while we haven't heard back, we'll share the response as soon as it's made available.
Back in Manhattan, we head down to Hudson Yards. That's where police say the two men in this surveillance video robbed a jewelry store.
And the NYPD tonight is also searching for two suspects accused of robbing a jewelry store at Hudson Yards. Investigators say this is surveillance video of that incident that happened on February 5th. Police say two individuals entered the store, allegedly distracted the employee before taking off with 3 pieces of jewelry. The value of those 3 pieces is placed at nearly $30,000.
And finally, we end in the Ridgewood section of Queens. That's where a woman was shot in the leg on the street in broad daylight.
Closer to home, the NYPD is searching for the gunman who shot a woman on a Queens street. This all went down on Wyckoff Avenue in the Ridgewood section around 2:45 yesterday afternoon. Now, video from Citizen App shows the scene where the 23-year-old victim was wounded in her left leg. She was taken to Brookdale Hospital in stable condition and is expected to recover.
I'm Dan Bowens, and that's this week's Crime in the City.